On today's show,
the key to Marc Gasol and the Grizzlies' early season dominance.
How much stock should we put into the Blazers' 7-game winning streak? Should we believe?
And in the Bone Zone, Brent Barry joins us in studio to discuss sad LeBron and the fragile Cavaliers.
It's Monday, November 24th. The starter starts now.
The starters, whether you're joining us live online, listening to the podcast, or catching us on NBA TV, very, very happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, it's Tass Mellis.
Purple shirt never hurt.
To my right, the starters blog editor, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! Pink for TK, and also in purple, it's the Australian, it's Lee Ellis.
Girls, it's mellow.
It's mauve.
Oh, sorry. Lots to get to on today's show. On Mondays, we like to sort of look back at the NBA weekend and point out a few winners. We've got some teams that we have to talk about on today's show. And we're going to start with the Memphis Grizzlies because they are a league best 12-2. They beat the Clips and the Clippers on Friday and Sunday, respectively. Look fantastic, especially in that win against the Clips. I mean, again, an early sort of statement, and they seem to have the Clips number. They take care of business when Marc Gasol is playing, at least.
They're destroying them every single game. And the Clippers, if you don't want to bring it, the Grizzlies are obviously bringing it at home to a crazy degree. I mean, 22 straight home games.
Yeah, and I said I didn't really think they're title contenders, but you start to think maybe if they have home court advantage, the people love the grit and grind. Bongo ladies, their subs play a lot better at home. Maybe that's the key, is getting home court advantage, and then, you know, those fans feed off the little energy plays they make throughout the game, and they're just harder to beat at home.
Yeah, you see it right there. The bench, the Grizzlies bench production, when they're at home there, to compare to when they're on the road, just how much more they give them in terms of points and just shooting the ball so much better.
There.
I'm glad you brought up whether or not they're a contender, because obviously the defense is fantastic. The offense is the question, and the big guy who's stepping up is literally big, and he's stepping up big is Marc Gasol. Because everybody else throughout this roster, I mean, I feel like we're getting peak a lot of these guys, but Marc Gasol, his season high, career high for one season is 14.5 points. He can score more with that skill set. He can definitely do that. This weekend he had 2 30-point games. He's only had 1 30-point game in his career coming into this season. He just doesn't take it upon himself to score.
Right.
That hasn't been him in the past, but half of the games this year he's shot 15 times or more, when he only did that 15 times the entire season last year. So he's on pace for 41 games where he's going to shoot 15 times or more. You see the points, he's at 20 points. The efficiency has gone up, which is crazy to even think that when the shots are going up. But Pau has that ability. He just hasn't been like Brother Pau. Or, I'm sorry, Marc has that ability. He hasn't been like Brother Pau, where he sort of takes it upon himself and is a scorer. He's always been a facilitator. And I'm not sure if this lasts the entire season with Marc Gasol, but he also is creating space for Zach Randolph because he's shooting a ridiculous percentage way out in the mid-range, like 48% when he's only about 37 last year. He's creating space. We just thought the three-point gunners were going to have to be the key, and I think they still are, in Vince Carter and Courtney Lee, but Marc stepping up is big.
You saw on Sunday against the Clippers, DeAndre Jordan didn't know what to do, because if he comes up too close on him, it leaves Zebo exposed to Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin can't handle him, and if he lays off him, he knocks in those mid-range jump shots. It's just so beautiful what he does. And the other thing with DeAndre Jordan, he doesn't make Marc Gasol work that hard on the defensive end either, because DeAndre Jordan doesn't have any offensive game outside the lob, so Marc Gasol can then cheat on defense, and he can cover extra ground, because if the ball does come to DeAndre and he's open, he's not going to shoot it. And if he does, that's great for the Grizzlies.
This is a smart basketball player in Marc Gasol, too, and a former Defensive Player of the Year, and also a guy who is going to be one of the biggest names in free agency when we get there in the summer. GM Chris Wallace says, hey, we're re-signing this guy. So apologies to Knicks fans, maybe Spurs fans, Lakers fans. I mean, everyone would want this guy. And why wouldn't you? Because what he can bring you on both sides of the ball. But they say we have every intention of re-signing Marc Gasol.
Especially like you said, Tass, he's been so much more aggressive looking to score that it just opens things up for everybody else. Because he's such a smart player, he starts scoring inside. You have to double team and kick it out. The ball goes around, fizzes around the perimeter, some would say, and you get an open shot. It works a lot better when he's trying to score.
And again, it's not just the elbow, but it's just inside the three-point line. So people consider a two-point shot not giving guys space. Well, this does give some space because he's way out there. This is beyond LaMarcus Aldridge range at this point. Can he keep it up? I don't know. I love this team, and their offense is 6th right now, which is, you didn't really think that coming into this season.
Another winner of the weekend in terms of teams It's the Toronto Raptors. Hashtag We the North. Has to be.
Grizzlies Raps finals. Here we come.
4 wins in a row for the Raps. Franchise best start. They're 11-2. Just some crazy numbers. Since the Rudy Gay trade, this team has the East best record at 52-24. That's 4.5 games better over that span than the Bulls. That's how great this squad has been. And they took care of business against the Bucks, you know, who we had been we had been applauding, playing well, playing good defensively. They just killed them on Friday night. And then they followed up by going to Cleveland and getting really a dominant win after a very, very slow first quarter. You see at the bottom, the Raps are just doing a fantastic job of taking care of the basketball and creating turnovers. They're right there with the Dallas Mavericks in terms of turnover differential. Taking care of the ball and getting the other team to cough it up. A really good weekend. Lou Williams, especially in the Cleveland game, goes for a career-high 36. It's a guy we talked about in the preseason as sort of a quiet move, under the radar type signing or trade, I guess, in Lou's scenario. James Johnson in terms of signing, but I mean, he just took over this game.
Well, yeah, they didn't really do much in the offseason in terms of bringing new guys in, but Masai Ujiri, sneaky little move with the Hawks. He traded John Salmons, a guy that nobody wanted. The Hawks ended up releasing for Lou Williams and Baby Nogueira, a first-round pick last year. A nice little pickup. But the thing we're wondering with Lou Williams was he's going to get back to that sixth man of the year type status. Because 2011, 2012, he was second in sixth man of the year voting because he was incredible off the Sixers bench. Then he got injured, and he hasn't been himself since. But when you give him the space and you just let him go, he's a fourth quarter scorer. He loves shooting at the end of shot clocks. He can score if he's healthy.
And Raps fans, you know, I've read a couple times on the blogs and stuff like, oh, he should be starting. Look at this guy.
No.
What are you talking about? First off, you have DeRozan. You have an all-star two-guard. He starts, and Lou is a game changer. Some nights he is going to maybe shoot you out of it. He is like Jamal Crawford. In many other games, he will completely completely change the game around, which he's done a handful of times already for the Raps. It's still early, and he would be on the short list for Sixth Man of the Year candidates.
And there was a very strong Raptors fan contingent in Cleveland. Take a listen to them cheering during the game, and then in the corridors, in the concourse, chanting, "We the North," post-game in Quicken Loans Arena.
And here it is again. And the in-arena operations, they're playing music to try to drown it out.
Yeah, they're trying to drown out the Raptors.
You can't drown them out.
We the North! 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 We the North!
You can't shut up the Raptors fans. Made that 4.5-hour drive down to Cleveland, taking care of business. It was worth it.
No, it was a great game, entertaining, and a big win because we had talked about the Raptors' sort of easy schedule, which they have had so far. But again, wins over the Bucks and in Cleveland, pretty big. One more team to talk about here, the hottest team really arguably in the league in terms of the winning streak, and that's the Portland Trailblazers. They took care of business over the weekend, got wins over the Bulls and the Celtics. 7 games in a row now, and similar to last season, guys, if you remember, this very, very hot start. The question with them is, first off, is this winning streak for real, and can they keep it up? They are getting some more contributions from the bench, which we'll get to in a second, but you see the numbers, knocking down the three-pointer again with consistency. That was happening last week. Defensively, they've been much, much better.
Yeah, I think you're just seeing the same thing with these three teams, the Blazers, the Raptors, and the Grizzlies. It's the continuity. They all brought back basically the exact same team they had last year. They're just ready to go. You're kind of refining your roles. You're not trying to figure out what everybody's doing. You're just getting better at the things you need to get better at, and it pays off right away.
You know, and you look at who they've played in this 7-game winning streak. Not title contenders here, maybe outside of the Bulls when they're all healthy. But you got to beat the bad teams, and that's what all these guys, the Raps and the Grizz, are doing. I just wonder again, can they keep it up, or what is the difference from last season to this season?
Well, one tiny move that they have made, they had an underdeveloped bench last season. It just was not good. So Terry Stotts has concentrated, has made sure that they were playing. Chris Kaman, Steve Blake being the big names. You know, they had a couple injuries to their starting lineup already this year. Terry Stotts said, nah, we're not going to play Kaman or Blake. We're going to go with guys, our third string guys, because we want our bench to stay intact. And it hasn't been an incredible jump, but I mean, they were non-existent last year.
They're just not blowing leads this year, which is a huge thing because their starting lineup is so good.
Yeah, so Terry Stotts has made that definitely a big big
priority.
Priority, right? Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The big P. Chris Kaman's been hot.
Blake, McCollum, they've all been doing their part, so a good start there for the Blazers. Good start here for the starters. Lots more still to come. When we return, Bones joins us to discuss whether the Cavaliers have hit rock bottom and how they can turn it around. So don't go anywhere. Back with the starters into the Bone Zone, joined by two-time NBA champ Brent Barry. That's right there.
It's so weird.
Oh,
It's tough to find. It's a fun game. We like to try and hide it on you.
We're gonna switch it.
It's like in 3 years when there's this huge bald spot over here.
Your Manu spot.
Yeah. You guys will be doing the show. I'll be long gone.
Oh, yeah, come on now. Bones, happy to have you here.
Nice to see you guys.
Let's get right into it. A big topic. We got to talk Cavaliers.
Yes.
Got to talk Cavs because we're starting to see a very frustrated, visibly frustrated LeBron James.
Yeah.
We especially saw it a couple times on the weekend. Friday night versus the Wiz. You know, maybe he was looking for the pass there, but just gives up on the play. I'm not getting back in transition defense. Falls asleep against the Raps. Lou Williams sneaking in there. He looks visibly upset, and he talked about it after the game with the media.
We're a very fragile team right now. Well, we're a fragile team from the beginning. You know, any little adversity that hits us, we just shell up, and that's something that will come with experience. And it's not even the lowest it's going to get for us. You know, I told a few guys, I mean, the lowest it can get is being up 17 in the fourth quarter in Game 2 of the finals and losing. I'm very optimistic. I'm very positive, more positive than I thought I would be right now.
The quotes from LeBron continued. This was this morning at shoot-around. They're getting ready to play the Magic. LeBron says, we got a 4-game losing streak, so I stink. I'm not doing my job. I got to do a better job, and it will help our team. So really tons to talk about with this squad, and we see it there. You know, they were hot for a second, had won 4 straight. The last 4, I mean, they can't take care of the basketball, not putting up points. I think defensively they've still been bad all season long. But let's start with LeBron, Bones, and his sort of comments about, you know, I need to do more.
Right.
I need to lead by example.
I think that's a great way to put it, is just lead by example, which means just in terms of the play, just the play on the court and the support on the court. You know, leaders can say and do all the things that they want on, you know, while it's practice time or in front of the media. But when it comes time to play, leading by example is probably the best thing that LeBron can do. And I think you guys would agree with me that over the course of the 4 games, even before that, quite honestly, the Boston game is the one that stands out to me when I watch the way that they had to come back in Boston. They were terrible, and LeBron decided that they were not going to lose that game.
Right.
And the way that they stormed back with him getting aggressive in that game, his body language at that time was that he was upset and that he was frustrated and that things were not going the way that he was hoping for, not just for him but for the team themselves. So he has more on his shoulders right now to lead by example rather than some of the things that he's been saying, which I think a lot of former players, I've talked to some guys here in the studio, some of the language that he's been using I think has been probably deconstructive for his team. I think it's sort of separated him from his teammates and what's gone on. And if you look at the way that he's played, collectively, that group should be under that same microscope and should be looking at themselves in the mirror the way that they've approached the last 4 games.
Are you worried at all, though, about a 5-7 start? Because we've done this song and dance before with the Miami Heat back in 2010-11. When the big 3 came together, they struggled. The only thing that jumps out to me is they were, back in 2010-11, they were still winning games, obviously a little bit more, but they had a good defensive, you know, frame there, and you know, credit to Spoelstra and those guys. And I guess it was a more veteran squad, but they just right now defensively get.
But Skeets, not only was it a veteran squad, it was a squad that had accomplished something.
Right.
It was a squad that had playoff experience and knew what it takes throughout the course of a regular season to put the building blocks of a championship team together, or a competitive team. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just a competitive team in terms of the Heat's. The Cavs' aspirations for this year. Pat Riley is not coming down to coach the Cavs. You remember all the talk that Spoelstra was doing his job, and it was Dwayne Wade had talked to LeBron about how good Spo is, and they get off to this start. And I mean, ridiculous stuff. So Coach Blatt has the same sort of scenario playing out in front of him where he's trying to understand the personalities of his team, what it is that he can get away with, how certain lineups are going to work. I mean, they've changed the starting lineup several times. It's gone from Marion to Waiters to the talk of even Joe Harris going into the lineup. The team, you know, that Miami team was 10-8 as we saw, and LeBron's been playing at 18 points per game during the slide, shooting 41%. He's not been his efficient self. Everything is just off right now, but panicking and getting worried about where this team potentially can get, I think is, it's just too much.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been great the way LeBron has spoken, I think, after games. He's more frustrated than he's letting on, but there's something in his play that needs to change. There's something in the way that he approaches his guys during the course of the game that needs to change and be a little bit more supportive. We're going to see with those kind of comments what he'll do in the very next game, saying it's on him and he's got to step up a little bit.
Is it too much to ask of him to be perfect on court and do everything for him on court and then to be a perfect leader for them too? Because that's a huge responsibility on a couple of different aspects of the game.
Because the role that he's playing with this team, when he went to Miami, he didn't have to worry about supporting everybody. With Chris Bosh coming in, and Dwayne Wade coming in, and the veteran guys that they had on his team, there wasn't so much concern about how it was the guys were approaching their job just professionally. I'm talking about coming into practice, being attentive, going through everything, the way the coach is asking you to go through everything, and then buying into what that is. I think right now, some of the things that Mike Miller has talked about is that the team has just been a little schizophrenic. And so collectively, there's not a lot of trust. There's a lot of unknowns. And when you're on a team like that and you're trying to get things together and all the talk from everybody while you're on your free time is coming from all these different directions, and then you get in a group like this and you're looking at each other in the eye, that's the time when you got to come together and you got to trust what the coach is doing. To this point, I haven't seen that in that team.
No, absolutely. But I think the last 4 games too, a desperate Nuggets team. The Spurs, where they nearly
and they were right there. And then think about how their competitive spirit was against that team. That tells you that there's some fiber within that team that makes you believe they're going to find themselves sooner rather than later.
It's a long season. It's a long season. We got a lot of bones.
You are damn right. It's a long
it is pretty long, isn't it? Could it be shorter? Yeah, maybe. All right, we got to take a break. Bones, thank you. When we return, weekend whoopsies, another wedgie, and Rick Carlisle.
You guys have a great Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Back with the starters, we've talked about a few winners of the weekend, but let's get to the fun. Let's talk about a few whoopsies of the weekend. Weekend whoopsies, Tassie.
JaVale McGee, his most memorable act of the young season. Sorry, JaVale. Gives a kiss to a young lady in the front row, then goes on the Shaquille O'Neal sprint back. You can be sure you'll see that on Shaq and a Fool.
During play, great part.
Yeah, Saturday, we got the Jazz and the Pelicans. Look at the 2 Jazz players, Gordon Hayward and Joe Ingles. Think the other guy's gonna grab the ball, just leave it. Guys, you gotta get the ball before you run the fast break there. Pelicans grab it.
Same game, an arena malfunction in Utah meant they had to use the they had to use the air horn for everything. This man on the right just can't stand it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't cover it, just let it go.
It's an air horn, it's supposed to be loud. Yes, that's right. Also from the weekend, OKC, Draymond Green really missed time that breakaway dunk slash layup slash.
He should have pulled up for a 3-pointer.
This was great. Clippers head coach Doc Rivers knows that stash is looking right.
It does look good.
It is looking great.
Yeah.
It looks like a 90s play, like back when Doc was playing. I'm sure he sported that at one point.
You ever had a stash, Tess?
Oh, we all have, haven't we?
Not me.
We all have.
I wish. No. One more play we could have included in the weekend whoopsies. It was early in the second quarter of Saturday's Mavs-Rockets game. Now, you see the ball go out of bounds there. Jason Terry's going to go grab it, but Mavs coach Rick Carlisle just snags it from him. And I do think that Terry would have got to it.
He would have, for
Kevin
sure.
McHale's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that should be legal. Look, he just, no. Terry's going to get to that.
I think he was giving up. Terry was giving up.
No, he was going to get to that. But here's the crazy part.
Close, at least.
Only gets a delay of game called. So the Mavs actually kept the ball. Again,
Yeah.
it was only in the second quarter, so it didn't really matter. But
there
crafty move.
That
Genius.
was no accident at all.
Of course not.
That was like he had to
Completely
restart after
reaches
that.
out.
So Jason Terry is former player too.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And you know we show you every wedgie that happens in the NBA. We had one between the Suns and Pacers, but the wedgie wasn't even the best part. It was the incredible call by Suns play-by-play man Steve Albert.
the best for my guys, and probably teaching a little bit more patient.
Excuse me, Eddie, but that's a wedgie.
That's a jump ball.
Jump ball at center court. Yeah, but that's our first wedgie of the season, I believe.
But
except for the one Eddie Johnson pulled on me when I was sitting down at halftime.
I'm glad it's just you two.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
you were saying?
No, EJ.
I threw you off with the wedgie.
You didn't throw us off, Steve. We appreciate the call.
Yep.
Fantastic call. Thank you for calling it a wedgie. Now we're one day without a wedgie because that happened on Saturday night.
We always get one on the weekend.
We need a Sunday wedgie.
We really do.
Great wedgies happen on Saturday. Yeah, we gotta get a zero.
Unleash the unicorn, please. Let's get to the Starters Fantasy Minute pickups of the week, presented by the General Insurance. Guys, help out the fantasy basketball players. Who should they consider getting?
You got Mike Dunleavy for the Chicago Bulls, who've been playing really well. He's up to 52%, so he might not be available too much. And Chris Kaman for the Portland Trailblazers. Tash, you talked about him having a good season. And Maurice Spates there for the Golden State Warriors. Had a really good game Sunday night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Warriors have 4 games this week. Now, Andrew Bogut picked up an injury. That's the main reason why Spates played so many minutes on Sunday night. We don't know how long Andrew Bogut's going to be out, if at all, but it's certainly worth having Maurice Spates there in your lineup if possible, because Bogut may miss a game or two. But again, that's speculation at this point.
Steve Kerr likes playing Maurice Spates.
Oh, he's been good anyway. That's right. Yeah, he's been good anyway.
When he gets the minutes, he can put up some big numbers. So again, only 18%. He's available in a lot of leagues. So go grab him.
Pick him up.
Final break. When we return, Friday's pick and payoff results and Sunday's very solid play. Watch the start. Back with the starters, we're all tied up in the pick'em payoff battle between Tass and I. You went 1-4 on Friday, Tass. I went 3-2, so we're 37-30 overall. Only a couple nights left in November. We agree on 2 games. We both like the Clips in Charlotte, and we like the Cavs at home in the Magic, and then we disagree on the final 3. I'm taking the Raps at home. You got the Suns. I'll take the Knicks on the road. You got the Rockets, and I'll take the Jazz at home. You've got the Bulls.
Listen, I'm just trying to create some excitement for this pick'em payoff.
Yes, this is what we're playing for. If you're new to the show, whoever has the worst record at the end of November will be doing something weird or embarrassing on the show.
That's not embarrassing.
Done turkeys and dancing and egg throwing and treadmills and tiny tasses and pies to the face when it came to Lee and Trey getting involved.
You never know what'll happen.
Again,
coming down to the wire.
Yeah, it's very, very close and not many nights left. And the loser will be doing something in December. But Lee, let's get to the very solid play tonight.
Oklahoma City last night. Golden State Warriors, very solid, simple play here. And it ends with Maurice Spates putting in a layup. Starts with Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Maurice Spates puts it in. Simple, but that's what I call a very solid play.
Very solid.
That is solid, Lee.
Very solid. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks to Bones, as always, for coming through. We'll be back tomorrow to recap all the games and big storylines. So we'll see you then.
And thank you for joining us. And remember, if you always change the way you restuff your duvet, you're a creative.
Brace the night, people.